Good afternoon. I'll call the meeting to order from Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority. Welcome everybody here today. First item of business is any items from the chairman. I have none other than to thank everybody for being so diligent the last several months. I do read the agendas and I do read the minutes, so I do know that you're here and doing something, and I appreciate Don you sitting in, and I think Gary had too, and I'm not sure who else, but I do appreciate it. I think it's been a cooperative effort, but I do appreciate it. Have the minutes of the meeting on April 27, 2010.
Second.
Does anybody have any corrections or additions to those minutes? Please record your vote. That's approved unanimously. Next item is item 4, consent docket. It's the sand mining report, oil and gas report, river corridor events report, and the summary of the Redevelopment Authority, Riverfront Redevelopment Authority budget and actuals for years 2008 through 2010.
Second.
Anybody have any questions or anything on those? Record your vote. Was approved unanimously. Primary agenda items: approve audit contract between Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority and BKD LLP. Well, I think that's the same auditor we've had in the past.
No, it's a new auditor this
I thought
year.
maybe they changed their name.
No, this is a new auditor this year. Mr. McAfee off the audit committee was involved in the selection.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Record your vote. Approved unanimously. Item B, accept project MC0349, University of Central Oklahoma pad site emergency removal of hydrocarbon impacted soil and place maintenance bond into effect.
Mr. Chairman, this is an item where we ran into some contaminated soil on the site, and we had a contract mobilized down there and took it as the most expedient way to remediate the site. Right. That was a contract that has now been completed.
Okay, need a motion then? Moved and seconded.
Second.
Any discussion? Record your vote. It's approved unanimously. Item C, recommend the Oklahoma City Council approve a revocable permit for Charlie Christian Jazz Festival for Charlie Christian Festival, June 4th and 6th. Is this the one that's already been to council, or is that the next one? It's the next one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Need a second? Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Record your vote. It's approved unanimously. Item D, recommend Oklahoma City Council approve revocable permit for OKC Motorsports LLC for the Little Caesars Ozarka Oklahoma City National Drag Boat Races June 11, 13, 2010. Move second. Discussion. Record your vote. Approved unanimously. Item E, concur with the City of Oklahoma City in approving a revocable permit for Oklahoma Wake Services, LLC for the Oklahoma Wake Series, June 4th and 6th. This is the one I was thinking about.
And what happened, if you recall, they were a little quick on, or a little late coming in, and so we brought it to this trust and asked if it would be all right if we went to the council first, and last time the River Trust said, yeah, go ahead and do it. Let's get that. Go ahead and accommodate the event.
Okay, need a motion? Any discussion? Record your vote. It's approved unanimously. Next item is claims. The claims ticket. Been moved. Is there a second? Any discussion? Record your vote. It's approved unanimously. We're not setting a record, but we're getting close, I think.
This is not a record. I can't imagine.
Well, I'll have something here in a minute, so that's okay. Additional item, comments by staff. Pat? I had one question, and the trustees may have other, but I had one question on, I can't find your report. It had to do, here it is. On your report that was talking about the ODOT Lincoln Byers exit ramp, and you went on to kind of describe where they are, and then about middle paragraph it says there is a concern that proposed construction could limit the connectivity between Bricktown and the Boathouse District. Can you elaborate on that comment?
That is the actual entrance exit ramp. As it's being proposed to be constructed, it will limit access until such time as the new flyover is built.
Does that limit mean like zero or limit?
Limit basically from that direction, yes.
From the north?
From the north, yes. That's being discussed. The plans were just submitted. Benham Engineering handled the work. They've submitted the plans to our planning department as well as Public Works. We're working with both of those entities to provide comments back to mitigate the lack of connectivity, given the amount of traffic and so forth that we've been having, and all of it typically coming, or a good portion of it, probably 70%, coming from the north. Long-term is a good solution. Short-term,
right,
we have some issues we're working.
How long would that connectivity or street be closed, another way of saying it? How long would that last?
I don't know exactly, Mr. Chairman. I'm guessing probably 18 months. That's approximately the length of time required to complete the flyover.
Well, it's going to be complete in the middle of 12, and so we're in the middle of, so it's 2 years away, and I think it's going to be over a year anyway.
So it's got, right now you can kind of weave around through this, so you're saying that's going to be shut off.
And then when it's obviously constructed, we'll be good to go. But
and when do you think that'll happen? The shut-off will occur?
The shut-off will occur when ODOT actually puts that piece out to bid, and I don't know.
Well, it's after it's going out for the June or July letting.
July letting, I think.
July letting, and so a work order probably in August, and so this fall, and it's probably going to be, like I said, a year as a.
So probably this fall sometime.
Yes.
Sometime in 2010.
Yes.
We will be mindful, particularly of the head of the Oklahoma Regatta timing, which is the first part of October. More than likely, if there is a contractor mobilized, they won't be to the point of completely shutting off traffic for that event, and that's probably the largest single event in that time period. Then the spring season is another issue. But planning staff, public works staff, we're looking at different options, and we'll do our best to mitigate that.
Jeannie, what are you thinking about as far as the boats, river cruises,
But one of the things that we did when we put in the Exchange Avenue maintenance facility, actually it was of necessity, it was made to be ADA compliant, and a functioning boat landing, so that interruption of service or access to Regatta Park would not have a tremendous effect. Obviously it would if we didn't have this landing at Exchange. You'd have no option but to go to Meridian Regatta right back to Meridian. Now you can go Meridian to Exchange, you can go Exchange to Regatta and back to Exchange. You don't have to, before we had Exchange, you would have had to commit 3 hours for a round trip. Now we can take you in an hour and a half, and certainly we don't want to see the Regatta Park area completely closed off. We
still get to it from the south is what you're thinking?
Still get it from the south, and we have, when the boathouse has a major event at Regatta Park, we just run between Meridian and Exchange. And so we're able to continue service. We're able to do our sunset cruises, our private cruises.
I was thinking more about people now that maybe want to go to Regatta Park, and most of them travel from the north, I would think, going, either tourist or whatever. Got to make sure that they understand when they get down in the roads blocked that the boat system is not shut down because the road's blocked.
Yeah, and we make tremendous effort to post on our website trolley availability, things that are going on at the boathouse when people call in. And if they haven't read on the website, we make recommendations. Just last weekend there were major events, and so we moved our sunset cruises out to Meridian Avenue. We had a really nice, we had 14 charters in May, which was 50% more than we had the year prior. And what we did on a weekend like that is we say, why don't you go out of Exchange or why don't you go out of Meridian?
Okay.
And since neither one is really that much further than Regatta Park, it didn't have a bad impact on our business.
But we are going to advertise and make sure it's publicize what the routes are and what's available as far as access to Regatta Park, and we're also going to make sure the trolleys are running to accommodate that also, to provide access.
And until August 1st, when we will no longer have an Orange Line trolley service, and we're already making people aware of that at this time.
Jimmy, just a very quick question. How do you actually access that ramp at Exchange? Is that from the south?
Yes, it's on the south side of the river. It's just up Exchange from Cattleman's Restaurant. And Chesapeake has an auxiliary boathouse there, and we kind of use that as our landmark since we're kind of down in the cove. And as I said, we had 3 or 4 charters
So
out.
through stockyards, basically, is
Basically.
where the landing is, which is great.
Well,
That's what we
actually,
told
coming over from the Exchange Bridge, it's just as you go over the river, it's the first thing on
On the other side of the river.
Right, on the south side, first up, opening on the right.
Okay.
My experience is if I'm at Exchange and somebody calls me, they're already on the south side, and I give them the directions through Stockyard City.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if people drive down from the north and they see it's all blocked up, that they don't think that the boat system is shut down.
We can get some signs down there.
Something to direct them if they're tourists or whatever, if they're interested.
Right.
Okay.
One thing we'll need to keep in mind is that will impact any events that normally use the bridge for parking, because the bridge will have to stay open for access. So those type of events that have been putting VIP parking up on the bridge won't be able to do that during this time period.
Well, there's not going to be any access anyway. Isn't that going to be like a dead-end street? Well, when it dead end just north of Regatta Park, is that what's going to happen? During construction, I'm talking about?
During construction, it would actually be cut off north of the Regatta Park area. So it would, where the existing shoe fly is that allows traffic to move through the construction area, that would be cut off.
So that may not affect that. You may think about it, because it may not be through traffic anyway. They can't.
Sure, though, but that's how they're going to be coming when they
Yeah, but I'm saying they can't go anywhere other than get there and turn around and go back.
But you won't be able to close them.
Right. Well, have they ever closed it totally? It's usually been where there's maybe 2 lanes because of fire, or have they closed it totally?
Generally, what we've done is taken 1 lane on each side and made it available for parking.
Right, and then kept it open. Okay.
Well, but they have only allowed you to get up on the bridge if you had a VIP pass.
Yeah.
There was a lane open, but we still have not only construction people that will need to get through, but we still have some residents down there, I believe. So you won't be able to shut the bridge down.
No, I don't think so either. I agree with that. No, I agree. Anything else, Pat, on your report?
Other than working the ODOT issue, the other issues I think we've pretty well laid out in the report. UCO made a significant announcement with respect to the progress on their boathouse funding, and the U.S. Olympic Committee has hired a new chief executive officer. Mike Knopp has been to visit with him. In fact, that was yesterday. And the new CEO has committed to come to Oklahoma City to visit our river, which is a U.S. Olympic training site, in October during the head of the Oklahoma Regatta. So that's another substantial opportunity for outreach and growing that program. And hotels are opening out on the west end of town, so progress being made. If there's any questions about any particular issue, be happy to address them.
Yep.
Yeah, you gave me a good lead-in with your hotels on the west end. The 12 hotels that the new marketing gentleman has signed up for the concierge service, are any of them in the Meridian hospitality area? Are they downtown or where?
They are. Tyler, of the folks that have signed up, are most of them in the Meridian corridor?
Yes, most of the hotels in the Meridian corridor have been signed up for the concierge program, and they're all down on that side of town.
Okay, then as a follow-on to that, and Jim, I just read this here, the health and vitality of that hospitality area would seem to me to be critical to the ongoing success of the river taxis. And you talk about the fact that the Business Improvement District had been put on temporary hold, and now it's started up talking again, but it's a long way away. What does that do to us, Jim, about keeping that streetscape in good appearance during the summertime?
Wendell, what do you know about I don't know the answer to that, Mr. Mackey.
That streetscape, sir, will continue to be maintained. I couldn't hear everything you said. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, about a year ago, we announced to the folks along Meridian that we would no longer be able to maintain that streetscape, that they would have to take that over. And Pat was very instrumental in trying to get a BID organized so that we'd have some funds so that they could hire contractors to keep that in a good condition. We've been unable to move that BID along, so are we going to be able to maintain that in a good condition because of all the tourists and all the people that come in? That's kind of a gateway area there.
It is a gateway, and it is a high tourist area, and if the BID can't form, I'll have to find a way to take care of it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that a yes? He's going to take care of it?
That's what I heard.
Is that what I heard? That's all I got to hear. Just yes. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Wendell.
I've talked to Wendell enough times. I know a yes, and I'm not sure. And that was a yes. Okay.
Having seen Wendell's presentation at budget this morning, he's got all kinds of excess money.
Does he? I bet he does.
Bless his heart.
Meg, do you have something?
I just really 2 quick comments, Pat. I thought the announcement of the Chesapeake gift for UCO was one of the nicest of those events I've ever attended. The remarks on everybody's behalf were great, and it just speaks so well to what's going on down there. And I did have the pleasure of being down on Saturday, and it was just so exciting to see all those collegiate teams. The facility looked fabulous, and was really...
Yes.
Any other questions of Pat? Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Any comments, trustees?
Could Jeannie address the vandalism? I was the first one to hear that. I didn't hear the rest
Jeannie, can you address, we were visiting with you before, the vandalism, please?
Yes, we had an incident at Exchange Avenue. We built fencing. It's very, very difficult to get down to the boats. What we didn't realize is that if you cross the trail bridge on the west side of the trail, and you can walk down the bank, and if you've got a good right arm, you can hit a boat with a rock. And we had 65 chips in the sides of the boats and 6 windows broken. Hornblower, of course, carries insurance on the boats, and they're taking care of, they've already had all the windows replaced, and they've done some preliminary cosmetic work to the damage, but they will have to be repainted as the 2 boats, the Explorer and the Devon Discovery. Now, since then, we've obviously not keeping them in Exchange, we're keeping them at Regatta Park, but we've entered into an agreement, or kind of a verbal agreement with Public Works. We're putting up a fence so that people can't get down to the bank and be able to heave rocks at the boats. And this fence will also protect the new docks that Public Works is putting in as well. And that should happen in the next week or 2.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunate. Any other comments from trustees? Comments from any of the citizens that are here? Any other business? We're adjourned. Thank you.